welcome back to another episode of the Cheap Champ podcast where we talk about life, money in context. This podcast is sponsored by stressmoneyless.com. If you have questions about financial literacy and you want to improve your credit or learn how to budget, go to stressmoneyless.com. So today I have another business owner as usual, and as you know, another great friend of mine. She is the very first person that helped me get the business started in the first place. The very first time I ran my business, I ran my workshop was here. She provided the space for me, and I'm so forever grateful for you. Would you care to introduce yourself today?
Oh, I just love to be about them all. I am Samantha Abrams. I am a small business owner. I own a company called Clean and Done. We offer house cleaning, deep house cleaning, professional organizing, tile and grout cleaning,
Hmm.
enhanced sanitizing, and you can also hire a personal chef across all of Los Angeles County.
Hmm.
I'm also an author. Wrote the book The Complete Player, which is uh, the log line is it's an hilariously entertaining journey into the brain science behind love, sex, addiction, heartbreak, and self worth.
Sounds deep.
Okay, it is. It's very deep. It's actually deeper than you can imagine. And in fact, brain science is the most fascinating science on the planet, in
It
my
is.
opinion.
I can imagine it is.
Yes, it is. And so there's that, and then of course there's the creative stuff. So Speak Live Comedy.
And we're in Speak Live right now.
We're in the
As you
middle of
see,
it.
we're in Speak. Before we get into everything, Speak
Yeah,
is a this is a comedy club as well. We come in here, I work out a lot of material in here. I've done hours and hours of comedy here,
comedy
right
club.
here on this stage. So and then which is a great because Samantha provides a space for us to do comedy. But before that, I wasn't aware of her cleaning business. So can you tell us what was it been like during COVID running a cleaning business? Because I know everybody wants to stay clean right about
It's been interesting because when everything hit the fan back in March 2020,
now. Hmm.
um, the funny thing was I was out of town. I was visiting my mom who was sick, so I kind of just shut down. I was like, "Bump, there's nothing for me to do. Had just stopped." So when I got back home, I was gone a couple of weeks. When I got back home, I researched what other cleaning services were doing because business had just gone to zero.
Right.
I mean, it was just zero. Half of my staff quit. It was like instant devastation. And then all in the course of about 3 weeks, I came back. I said I researched what Mary Maids and some of my competitors, and they created an enhanced sanitizing service of sorts. And so that's what I did. I call it an enhanced sanitizing service. And so that's basically where someone shows up in a hazmat suit and uses hospital strength chlorine disinfectant and
Hospital strength chlorine. That means it's killing
it's
everything.
killing
It
everything.
might kill you if you drink it.
No, it won't hurt you.
Okay,
It
that's good.
won't hurt you. In fact, chlorine naturally occurs on the planet Earth. And so that's what it's basically like really, really strong pool water.
Okay.
Okay. And chlorine naturally will evaporate in a couple days. But we spray we put that shit on everything. So we get underneath surfaces in the hazmat suit, you know.
Have people been afraid of you coming in the home? Because I know, now because I called my light bill company, they had all this. Hey, do you have this, that in the house? So how do people feel about you coming in the home right now?
Some people will call and ask if we check temperatures,
Hmm.
if staff check temperatures. There are people that are cautious, but by and large, what happened, right? Everything shut down for 3 weeks. And it took about 3 weeks for motherfuckers to get real dirty. Like all of the kids are home just fucking up everything. So they threw their hands in the air and
Right.
business came back with a boom.
Awesome.
Right. And so then I developed the other service, right, with the sanitizing. And as a precaution, a lot of people that have been affected by the virus, either at home, at home rather, or their office, will call for peace of mind and have a spray a room. In some cases, I'm more concerned about showing up because I noticed somebody was ill in this particular room
Yeah, I can imagine.
that
That's
I might be
scary.
servicing,
Right.
right? But at the same time, we're
Hmm.
fully protected from head to toe.
Has it been hard getting? Was it hard getting supplies? Because at
Yeah,
the beginning, because I know Lysol ran out, Pine Sol
right.
ran out, all that good stuff was running out. So was it tough for you to get that kind of stuff?
It was a smack in the face. That 3 weeks that business stopped. That's where a business owner, when shit changes like that, I mean, this is the real test for business owners
Right.
and creativity, because when the environment your environment changes, you have to change with it.
Right.
Period.
Hmm.
And so in the course of that 3 weeks, I just did my homework. And what I ended up needing to do was, I mean, I was running out of spray bottles. Right? I had disinfectant to give my staff, and I couldn't even give them anything to spray it out of, and
Wow.
neither could they. So I had to just change register my Amazon business account properly,
Hmm.
and my company is an essential business.
Right.
So then I was allotted access to a lot of the PPE that regular people couldn't get.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. And did the supplies go up? Did they like kind of price gouge you a little bit because they knew
Well,
everybody
everything
need
I
that
was
stuff?
buying was new, so I didn't really
Okay.
have a comparison.
Oh,
I did
okay.
see some of the gouging, but I think Amazon did a pretty good job in
Mhm.
the front end of that, with sort of just policing that whole debauchery, because people were gouging, but
Mhm.
the prices that were accessible to me online as an essential business were reasonable.
Nice. So, because I know with the cleaning business, I haven't actually had anybody come out and clean because I was taught if somebody comes and cleans your house, you're dirty. It's like
That's what black people
that's what
think.
black people think. It's like if somebody you pay somebody to
That's
clean out, you
funny.
must be real dirty. So, have you had that stigma? Have you had people like, well, I would love for you to come clean, but I would feel dirty
You
if you
know,
come
the
clean
funny
for
thing.
me.
I'm one of those black people, right? I
Okay.
own a cleaning business, and I feel some type of way, like some type of guilt on me when I get one of my staff to come clean my house.
Yeah, it's like
I feel that. However, the interesting thing is that if you break apart the demographic of my customers, and this is, of course, getting information from my staff. I had to go, was she black or white?
right.
But I can tell we can tell kind of who's black. You get an idea of who's black, white.
Hmm.
Sometimes you can tell the age, and I hate to sound racist, but I think it's an even split. So I'm surprised at how many black customers I have. All that to say, I'm surprised at how many black customers, good customers I have.
Did it now with the cleaning business? Is it expensive like having a staff? Like what are some of the costs that come along with a cleaning business? Because I know, some people think, well, I can just go get some stuff and clean, so I'm
Right,
sure it's not
right.
that easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's from its rudimentary startup, it's pretty inexpensive to start a cleaning business. First off, licensing says that you don't even need one if you're not charging more than $499 for a service.
Okay.
Okay, so you can start up pretty easily, but after a while, you'll find that you can very easily charge more than $500 for a service. So you have to get your licensing in place, and then you have to figure out how marketing is going to work, and you have to figure out how staffing is going to work. And what you'll find is that with just about any business that you start up, including the cleaning business, whatever the customer pays, half that shit's going to business expenses, right?
Hmm.
I've got a database. The customer feels like it's an app experience, right? My website, the database that I use to book the services through my website. I pay, at the time I was only spending in the beginning, I was only spending about 150 to $200 maybe a month in Google ads, whereas now I'm spending about $1,000 a month or more
Wow.
in Google ads, because
Hmm.
I figured out how much, what my, return on investment is going to be. But there's just not only are there the expenses, but there's the figuring out of how to best utilize and choose and juggle those expenses.
Hmm.
So yeah, half your customer invoice receipt, rather, or payment, is going to go to business expenses, overhead, and then you got to pay your staff.
Hmm.
So you have to make sure you're pricing yourself fairly,
Right.
black folks.
Yep.
Message.
Message. Now I also wanted you also said that you're an author. Yeah. So can you tell us about your book? How did
Yeah.
you come up with the title and how did you come up with the what the book was going to be about?
Okay. Well, first off, the title is longish. If you add the subtitle, the title is The Complete Player.
Okay.
And I will say that if I had it to rethink, I would probably have titled it something different. But the full title is The Complete Player, and the subtitle is a neurological description of the love game between the player and his mark. And so
That
it
sounds so deep. That
it
just
does
sounds so
sound deep.
sophisticated. So the neurological. What's going on neurologically with you? I want to
Right.
know.
Right. I'm not sure the title really gives the book's content justice, but this is a book about the brain science of love, sex, and relationships. It really just breaks down what heartbreak is, what it feels like, what love is, what it feels like when it comes and goes. What are our brains doing when we're going through relationships?
Mhm.
And it came straight from the fiery gut of a broken heart. I got my heart broken, and it felt like my brain was broken. And it turned
Uh,
out I was right.
right.
So I just took 4.5 years, what started out as the mother of all journal entries, as I was trying to figure out. Know one thing to be brokenhearted, but to be brokenhearted and to have young children to raise, I
Yes.
needed to do something quick to
Right.
get to be present for them because that was a hard thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 7 years sober. At the time, I was a year or two sober, and I was brokenhearted. So I was on several levels devastated, and I was having trouble trying to cope. So I went to science, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people, go to resentment and revenge and
Some
that sort
people
of
go to
thing.
Psalms,
Right.
Genesis.
Some people go to R&B music,
Right.
right? And but I'm the and in the demographic that will go to science. I want to find out how it works. I want
Hmm.
to find out how this happened.
And so through this book, is this more? Is there a lot of there's a lot of science based fact in the book?
Right. It's a brain science book. Like
Okay.
you will walk away having had a neurology lesson and not
Okay.
knowing it because it's funny and one and it two it's dark and I use a lot of personal anecdotes, but I really put a comedic spin on everything. I mean, I was think that there's 3 paragraphs that you'll read without at least a couple jokes
Right.
sprinkled. But the content is raw and it's dark and it really just breaks apart the real life implications of falling in love with Mr. or Mrs. Wrong. I
Hmm.
mean, heartbreak can be debilitating. It can make everything feel overwhelming. And so, I'm sure that there will be other women and men that can relate. In fact, I've gotten more feedback from men on this book than I have women. Positive feedback.
Ladies, go buy the book.
It's a good book.
The website is up. Go buy the book.
Yes, the website you can find it. Details about my book and links to buy it on Amazon at www.thecompleteplayerbook.com.
TheCompletePlayerBook.com.
Yeah.
How hard was it to make this book? Now, this is a paperback book.
Yeah.
This is there's a physical copy of this book.
Right.
So,
Um, when you say make it, meaning
the completion of the book,
the artwork.
the artwork. This is the
Yeah.
book.
So first of all, I want to shout out Joe Fox.
Joe
Listen,
Fox, he's already been a guest on there. Graphic
yeah,
designer, check him out. Joe Fox designed this book.
he is
Brain design.
people don't know. People know him as a solid comedian. He's a solid, funny comedian. Very dedicated. But people don't know that he is like this brilliant graphics designer. I had no idea. He's the Hollywood flyer man. It's like all the black shows.
Joe Fox does all the
Joe
black
Fox
shit.
does all the flyers. You've seen a million flyers that Joe's
And he's a great actor. Joe's an
yo,
awesome actor as
he's
well.
so awesome and talented, but he put this together. When I tell you, oops,
Oh,
sorry, sound editing.
we're good.
He put this cover together and my sales spiked because of it. So we just got to shout out to that black synergy.
Hmm.
But yeah, you can find my book on Amazon.
The Complete Player Book.
And if you want a signed copy, you can either DM me um, or email me at info@thecompleteplayerbook.com, or you can find me on at thecompleteplayerbook.com.
Now I have a question about now, like a book, I'm sure it's like your baby.
Yes.
But you have to put your baby on the market to be sold
Yeah.
and make money for you.
Right.
So I'm sure that goes from creator to okay, business, money, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
It's like I want people to read it, but I also want my money. I don't want to be overcharged. So what was that process like getting the book on Amazon, getting it published?
Yeah.
How hard was that process?
Well, as a new author, I made a whole lot of new author mistakes. And I would say, as advice to other new authors, do not delay writing your book proposal because my book has been published for over 2 years, just over two. And I finally finished my book proposal. Now, what is a
What is
book
it
proposal?
proposed? Yeah.
Book proposal is a huge, huge document, potentially huge, depending on what genre your book is. For nonfiction, self help like mine, it is a huge document. Mine was 57 pages. Telling either a literary agent or a publisher uh, why someone would want to read your book. So you're writing pages upon pages of reasons why someone would want to read your book without really telling them what's in the book.
Oh.
And this is like your resume as as an author.
Mhm.
And so you would want to write a proposal for every book idea that you have. Knowing what I know now, I should have wrote the proposal first. However, this was a very emotional endeavor. So of course I just spewed out the book first. But apart from that, bit of advice, uh, you learn straight away that advertising costs money. You have to have money to make money, and that also applies to authoring and selling books. If I had $100,000, I could make myself a bestseller in a month,
Mm.
but I don't.
So it's not necessarily being the best. So it's more so about
It's about
it's
exposure.
about
It's about
exposure,
having a platform.
right?
And so that's what I'm building right now.
Mhm.
In a couple of weeks, give or take a few days, I am going to start a podcast with neurologist and comedian friend Dr. Brian King, who is also the author of the best-selling book The Laughing Cure, as he explains the science of smiling and laughter.
Ha ha ha! The laughing cure.
So he and I are going to talk love, sex, relationships. We're going to promote our books, and the content of our books is what will be the topics of our shows. We will have medical professionals and comedians on the show. And so this is a way we can create a platform.
Right, and this is what this platform is about. The
Right.
Cheap Champ is a platform about bringing people on, talking about life, money, and context. Like not only what you did, but how much did it cost you?
Yeah.
Because everybody sees the check. I made $100,000, but it cost you 90.
Yeah,
You
it costs a
made
lot.
10.
So with a book, as a new author, you write this amazing book, that everybody's gonna love. Everybody on the planet is gonna love your book. And that's what you go in thinking.
Right.
And then nobody buys your shit unless you're spending on advertising. And then
Mm.
you realize that for every $100 of advertising that you spend, maybe you sell 50 books. Then you got 6 months to figure out why. Oh, because your cover's crappy. So you'd redesign your cover, and then sales get better, but you're still spending 130% you know on advertising based on what you're making. You
And
want
I'm
to be
sure
under
books are
100.
different. You don't run commercials on books.
You can. I mean, there's really no rubric to how authors solicit themselves. It's
Ah,
kind of an
okay.
open field with what kind of platform, especially in today's culture with social media and just the creativity that's out there. So, it may be you start a blog. Blogs are still popular among readers. You may have a YouTube channel where you talk about subjects, but I'm going to do a podcast with a medical professional.
Nice.
And I also, of course, have the website, and I have social media platforms, among others. I also have a Google ad that I use, as well as Amazon marketing
Hmm.
that I pay for. I just kind of turn the volume down on the Amazon ads because I'm selling on Amazon. And
Right.
so in my experience, it feels like a conflict of interest.
Yeah,
And I'm just not selling enough books that way. The Google ads work way better. So that's maybe a second bit of advice.
that makes sense.
Check your Amazon ads because you're selling on their platform,
True.
and they're advertising. They're supposed to be advertising on their platform. So I don't know if that technically is a conflict of interest, but it certainly felt like one.
Mm. Before we wrap up, can you tell us about Speak? About
Yeah.
How did you come up with Speak? Because
Right.
Speak is a near dear space to my heart. Not only do I do comedy here, it's the first place where I had one of my first workshops. So it's very special to me. We haven't been in here over a
I
year,
know.
so tell us how did you come up with Speak? And
Oh
between
my
having a cleaning
goodness.
business,
Wow.
an author, and running a comedy club,
All right.
that's quite a
So it all started when I got drunk and hit this motorcycle cop with my SUV. It all started with my DUI. I lost my driving privileges, which meant that it was harder to get on stage, which meant it was harder just to get out of the house. And so that, along with a few other sets of reasons, um, I had been trying to, which were I had been trying to, yeah, I had been hosting shows. I don't know if you remember me, but out on the scene, I was always hosting something out. The brother Al Green and I had a show in Newport Beach.
Shout out to Al Green.
Yeah,
Good
shout
people.
out. And then I hosted a show with him and another cat at the in the belly for a few months, for 8 months actually. It was a fire show way back, maybe over 6 7 years ago. And um without the car, and then with the business starting, I was always pulling overnighters configuring my business website. And I just, oh, and so also I was having, here's the big thing, I haven't told this story in so long that I have forgotten this important piece. So as a part of my hiring, I would have these group orientations. I would have these groups of people coming to my home every Thursday night to try and get a house cleaning job. And so I bought all these chairs and I had this PowerPoint presentation with this screen projector. And it was just me and a bunch of people trying, the broke people trying to get a job for about an hour. And I was explaining them how it all worked. And it was actually really funny.
Mm-hmm.
It felt kind of like a comedy show because I was cracking
Mm,
them up.
right.
So I was like, well, shit, this is where my crazy, this is where I overdo it comes in. I was like, all I need to do is dim the lights and put a spotlight and invite some more comedians. And so that idea strangely just kind of rolled over into what Speak became. I
Mm.
just pimped out my apartment like a comedy club. I looked at my kids, I was like, all right, y'all know what a living room is. So that's gonna be over now. We're gonna change it. And I turned it into a comedy club. I built the stage. I just went bananas and I started inviting all of my comedian friends.
Yep.
And you guys made it beautiful because I didn't know what I was doing. I was building it thinking, they're all gonna laugh at me. I didn't know. It was probably one of my favorite craziest ideas.
Well, it's definitely a great idea. I'm forever grateful for you because this is the only place where we can get more than 10 minutes on stage.
Yeah.
Because some places you don't get no time to give you 5 minutes. But I'm gonna do it 5 minutes. I can't even go to the bathroom and zip up and wash my hands in 5 minutes. So I'm just very grateful for what you do, Samantha. For as putting out a book, all the great knowledge,
Thank
having a
you.
cleaning business, and running a comedy club. You've helped so many of us around LA because we come here and work out these jokes and go take them to the clubs and go do great things. So I'm just very, very happy that you're still doing what you're doing, that we're still here in 2021 being safe, and we're looking forward to your podcast, your book. You can get your book at thecompleteplayer.com,
TheCompletePlayerBook.com.
thecompleteplayerbook.com.
Yes.
And then we also have Clean and Done, where you can get your home clean.
Organized.
You're based in Los Angeles?
We service all of LA County,
Okay.
and we offer deep cleaning. We don't do light cleaning, what that is.
Hmm.
And then we do professional organizing, tile and grout cleaning. You can hire a personal chef and we'll come in a hazmat suit and sanitize if you like.
So if you're dirty, call Samantha,
Yeah, yeah.
get clean and done, because you dirty and dirty, but you need clean and done so you can get rid of dirty and dirty.
That's right.
And
We
where
don't
can they?
judge.
We don't judge. And we want to get paid. So you gotta pay. Where can they find you at?
They can they can book online or call or text. If they find us online, they can find us at cleananddone.com. That's www.cleananddone.com. Or you can call or text 424-239-6020. Again, that's 424-239-6020.
Do you have a personal page or anything, or a comedy page would anybody like to
Well,
follow?
you can certainly donate to Speak Live Comedy. That's www.speaklivecomedy.com.
Okay.
And if they want to find me and link me to anything that I'm doing, they can always find me online. My handle, because I overdo everything, is I overdo it. And that's I spelled like the I on your face.
Eye on your face.
EYEOVERDOIT. I overdo it.
Okay. I overdo it. You can check that out. I have all that information in the notes for you.
Yay.
So I want to thank Samantha for coming on today. Thank you all for tuning in
Thank
to us.
you,
We
Malcolm.
have another great business owner that has given us a lot of good knowledge. Please support Clean and Done. please go buy her book. And one day we'll get back to doing some comedy. You can hopefully come see Samantha and myself do some comedy around Los Angeles. And when we get back to it. But until next time, this has been another episode of The Cheap Champ. Take care.